Hello and welcome to my channel, everybody. I wanted to try something slightly different today, which is to actually film outside, and in particular I'm in the beautiful autumnal rose garden. And so my husband and I are about to go to the cinema to see a film called The Balloon, which I'll talk about more in a second, and it deals with life in Eastern Germany. And so I thought it'd be a great time to do a little video about film and book recommendations about what life in Eastern Germany was like. In terms of books, I'd really recommend Stasiland. This one is basically a kind of documentary non-fiction book where the author, I think she's Australian, lives in Berlin and actually interviews some people who grew up or lived in Eastern Germany and just asks them what their lives were like. Just what their experiences of life in Eastern Germany was like. So it's really, really interesting. I'd highly recommend that. And yeah, just go check it out. So the film that we're planning to see today is called The Balloon, or Balloon I think just in German, or Ballon, and I don't know if this one is out in English yet, so unfortunately I'm not sure that I can actually recommend this to you English speaking people, but yes, it follows the true story of several families in Eastern Germany building a hot air balloon from scratch in order to fly over the border, which obviously was a crime at that time. So it's almost like a thriller because they only very narrowly escaped the border police. And yes, it's a very, very big undertaking. Obviously, it's very scary. They're risking their lives. They could get shot or imprisoned. So yes, I'm really, really curious. I haven't seen the film yet. However, I was in Berlin quite recently and I actually saw the original balloon. So I saw the sewing machine, I saw the actual fabric of the balloon and the contraption that they were all in. So I'm really, really curious to see this film because it's just come out in the cinemas in Germany. I would also really recommend a hilarious comedy called Goodbye Lenin, which again is German but has been dubbed. And that one is set shortly after the wall fell, and it follows a family where I think the mother had just fallen into a coma shortly before the wall fell, and then the doctors tell the children of her that they shouldn't stress her too much, so she should not be told that the wall had just come down. And it's just this hilarious situation where they're trying to pretend that Eastern Germany still exists when actually it hasn't, and it hasn't for a few weeks or months or something like that. So they're trying to keep up appearances, and it is absolutely hilarious. It also reminded me a lot because I was born in Western Germany, but I lived for a couple of years in the former East Germany after the wall came down. And it was really interesting because there were a lot of the little things, like the everyday things, like brands and things that I was really reminded of from my childhood. So it was really lovely to see those. So another film that I'd highly recommend is called The Tunnel, or Der Tunnel I think. And it is again based on a real story, a real escape story from Eastern Germany over to West Germany, where basically they dug tunnels under the houses in Eastern Germany in order to, go under the wall. And it was a very, very dangerous undertaking, obviously not only just because of the state police trying to catch anybody trying to escape, but also just because obviously building tunnels when you're not exactly like an engineer or someone equipped to do this kind of building work is very, very dangerous. And so there were a couple of people getting stuck in places, tunnels collapsing, all sorts of things like that. So yes, The Tunnel is also another film that I'd highly recommend. So these were 3 film and 1 book recommendations about life in Eastern Germany, brought to you from the beautiful Rose Garden in Munich near the Isar River. So it's absolutely beautiful here. I apologize if the sound quality is not quite as good as normal. There are a lot of people here right now. So I'm trying to film somewhere where it's reasonably quiet. Yeah, until next time, see you!